I once heard this incredible quote from Christian entrepreneur and preacher John Maxwell. He's written so many books, but his quote was, "Dreams don't work unless you do." He also said, "Hope is not a strategy." I love that one. Those are both so true. But here's the kicker. As Christian entrepreneurs, we don't just work for ourselves. We work in alignment with God's will, which sets our businesses and our missions apart from the secular world. When we partner with God, the possibilities are limitless. So what does that look like in practice? Hey friends, it's Emily, your certified Christian life and business coach, and this is the new segment all about entrepreneurship and pursuing your purpose and figuring out the best way to align your goals with His so that you are living a life out of intention. Today, we're diving deep into what it means to step into your God-given calling and actually launch the business, the dream, the ministry that's been tugging at your heart. Many of us feel that pull and feel discontent in our circumstances that we are in right now or have been in, and really want to get somewhere forward with the things that we constantly think about, whether it is starting a business, whether it is starting a ministry, or pursuing a side hustle, as they say. We get stuck and we're totally overwhelmed by the possibilities, by the what if, and especially by the how. Let me remind you that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline. And that's in 2 Timothy 1:7. He's already equipped you for the work ahead, and He's going to guide you every single step of the way. Today, I'm going to walk you through the fundamental steps to launching your purpose-driven business with the power of faith. We're going beyond surface level advice and diving into practical strategies combined with biblical wisdom. So let's get real. I know how hard it can be to even know where to start. Maybe you've got this beautiful idea, a coaching business, a blog, a product, a freelance business, but every time you sit down to work on it, you just freeze. You're like, I don't even know what is the first step here. Let me walk you through a process that I like to call the first 5. These 5 are practical, actionable steps to get you from stuck to started, because we all just need the right type of accountability and motivation, and these are really going to help lay the foundation for launching this thing. Number 1, clarify your calling. Proverbs 16:3 tells us, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. We've heard this so many times. The first step to launching your business is to make sure that it aligns with God's purpose for your life. Pray for clarity, but also reflect on your passions, gifts, and opportunities that He's already given to you. This is something that I find so helpful, because a lot of us, and I know in my own experience, have felt like some time has been wasted or time right now is being wasted. But really think about what is happening in your life right now that's preparing you for this next step, for launching your business, for taking chances. You're learning something wherever you're at. You're learning something from the people that are around you, whether you like them or you don't. The circumstance that you find yourself in is helping prep you, because God is a part of this. Where we can get caught up is feeling like we're wasting time, and then that paralyzes us because we feel like we have to make the next move and it has to be the right one. And that's not true. So in our previous episodes, we talked all about building, failing forward, building with God, and we're jumping from that point to actually taking the action. So you really need to think about, where am I right now? What does God have me learning in this season? What brings you joy right now? What needs do you see in the world that you are called or feel called to meet? And if you feel uncertain, ask God to reveal that to you through scripture, through the people in your life, and especially through prayer. In my walk, God has helped me so much understand what it is He wants me to lean into just by having conversations with people that know me, and being in prayer over that and asking for that prayer. It is so hard to be vulnerable and to ask for help when we need it, but praying over taking and making a big change in your life is worthy of asking for prayer. And I have the most beautiful person in my life that God has given me, who happens to be my neighbor. And I know when I ask her for prayer, she is going to pray boldly for that and help me decipher what God is doing in my life. And she has always been someone who has pointed me to scripture and pointed me to God's word and His character over and over again. And that reveals so much in what action He wants me to take to be more like Him, and has played a lot into my path on where I've taken my entrepreneurship journey. So we are trying to clarify your calling by utilizing these things. Number 2, create a vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. This is in Proverbs 29:18. Vision is what sets the direction for your business. What kind of impact do you want to have on others? Sit down and write out that vision. What will your business look like in 5 years? What do you hope your business is going to be accomplishing? Your ministry, what will it be accomplishing in 5 years? How will it serve people in a way that reflects your faith and God's likeness? Break this big vision into bite-sized steps so it feels less overwhelming. And remember that faith without works is dead. James 2:17. We've got to move in the direction that God is calling us. And so creating this vision, this plan of what we're hoping that this entire thing even accomplishes is helping us set up the stage for what's most important right now. How am I going to get to that step in 5 years? Number 1, I need to create an LLC maybe. What's the first step to that? So knowing what your vision is for this. Number 3, set tangible goals. In Habakkuk 2:2, it says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. Once your vision is clear, create specific, measurable goals that you can actually track. Is it starting a blog, creating your first product, or setting up your social media platforms? Set a deadline. And remember, don't let perfectionism, we just spent so much time talking about that, stop the overthinking. So do not let perfectionism keep you paralyzed. God doesn't need perfection. He just needs your obedience. Number 4, find your people. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. Community is essential to anything you're doing. It's essential to your growth as a person. It's going to be essential in your growth as a company or ministry. And you need to rely on those who God has put in your life, or find people that I'm a coach. Of course, I'm going to say that, but I'm a coach who has a coach because I know the value that it has. Who do you need to connect with to bring your vision to life? This could be a mentor, a group of like-minded people, or entrepreneurs, a coach. Accountability will help you stay on track. Accountability is a great motivator. And what happens with most goals, with most things that are outside of our normal, you need that accountability and the motivation piece. What is true motivation? That is going to be a linchpin in keeping you focused. That's why we want to know what the clarity is. That's why we want to know what our big vision is, because when we know the vision, that keeps us moving, that keeps us taking action because we want that vision to come true. So accountability will help you stay on track. Find your people. Number 5, take the first step in faith. This is the hardest part, but it's also the most crucial. In Psalm 37:23, it says, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. God will guide your steps, but you have to be willing to take the first one. Is it launching a website, recording your first podcast episode, making your first product? Whatever it is, do it in faith. Trust that God is going to meet you in the process and reveal to you the things that you're still unsure of, or you're not really clear on how that's going to work. There have been so many iterations of my website, of the type of offers that I have, of the different digital products that I offer as well. I even had my hand in a physical product business when I was in college. So there was all these things that we had to figure out with manufacturing, how to get certain things that were kept getting messed up on the template of the product to get that worked out. So we didn't know that we were going to run into issues with certain things, but we were able to figure it out in the process. There's no way you can have enough contingency plans or foresight to know that this or that's going to go wrong and you're going to have to navigate that, because we all know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. And when you're starting something new, believe me, there's going to be plenty of things that you just don't know and you don't even realize you don't know them. So you can't let things that aren't perfect or that you've created a mindset around of failure, of it being too complicated, taking too much time, too much energy, all these negative narratives that we play in our mind to keep us staying small and not taking action. Your brain wants to do everything it can to conserve energy. So anything that is going to take an expended effort on your part, it's not part of your normal, it's not part of the mundane of your life, is going to cause friction. So we have to be willing to know, I'm going to have friction in this. This is going to be something I have to overcome. I'm going to find obstacles along the way, but that will not deter me. So Here's where things often get real. The pivot moment, when everything starts to come together. Let me tell you about a powerful turning point I experienced in my own journey. This was a couple years ago. I was in the trenches of really trying to start my coaching business and get that piece of my journey going. I was juggling motherhood at this time. I had 2 children, pregnant with my third, marriage, a million other things. The season that we were all stuck in our houses and couldn't leave, there was just so much. And I had this huge doubt in my mind. I was just like, I've spent so much investing in financially into the things that I've been building and creating and getting certified in. I've invested so much time, so much energy, so much limit, so much prayer, so much all these things. And I just felt like, where's the harvest? Where's the fruit from all of this? And I just had so much doubt. I remember specifically, I was just crying and on my knees, just praying, Lord, I don't know. Is this really what you want me to do? Have I done any of this in vain? And it was really my purpose when I started my entrepreneurship journey to allow God to lead me. And I'd felt this whole time, like, I know I wasn't doing everything perfect, but I felt like God was leading me. I kept pursuing further and deeper and more at his behest. And so I was just like, where's the harvest? It hadn't been what I had expected, which is my own self-righteousness and pride. So I had this moment and I was so upset and just crying and saying, God, what can I do? Am I doing what you want? The next day, 3 different people who had interacted with me in 3 different ways. One was a coaching client, one had listened to my blog, and one person had purchased an ebook that I have, and it's still available. It's called Find Your Compass. All three of these people in one day reached out to me. One was in person, one was a message on social media, and one had sent me a text message. Actually, a woman sent me a text message on the behalf of her friend and telling me how all these 3 different things that I was doing had impacted them so much and had helped them in this specific season in their life. And just wanted to say thank you. I remember bawling my eyes out. I remember calling Adam, my husband, because I share everything with him, obviously, and he's known my whole journey. He's known all of it. He's been in prayer over it as well. And he's been a huge support and a big part of all of this coming to fruition. I remember calling him and he just poured so much love and support into me. It was so encouraging. And I just remember getting off the phone with him and just crying and saying, thank you, God. I'm sorry for thinking that it wasn't enough, because even if it's only my children that benefit from all of this, that's enough for me. And from that point on, that has been over 3 years now, or right at the 3-year mark ago that happened. I just have had so much peace, so much contentment, so much excitement for what I am doing, and knowing that I'm just taking intentional action and God's in the mix of it. I don't know what's impacting other people, and your life is the same. You have no idea how much of a ripple effect your piece of this puzzle God has created for us here impacts other people. And so you too have a calling, a divine purpose on your life. God created you to be in this time, in this world, right now, right here, in this exact moment for a divine reason. And that is the testament of him and his faithfulness to us. We're going to fall down. We're not going to do the best. We're not going to make always the right choice, but good will come through us having faith in him and allowing him to guide us. And I just realized that there was just a lot of fear and pride and things like that holding me back. And it wasn't a lack of purpose or calling, because you have purpose and calling. We all have purpose and calling. But God was calling me to step out in faith and trust him to provide everything that I needed, everything that needed to happen, everything that was going to happen. So I recommitted to my work then. I recommitted to him and just being focused and intentional and encouraged and uplifted by that. And that was a blessing that he offered me. He didn't have to, but he did. And doors began to open and different opportunities have taken place since then and things I never imagined. And this was just a breakthrough, but there's going to be setbacks and breakthroughs. There's going to be 5 steps forward and 20 steps back. It's going to be a tug and a pull. It's going to be an ebb and a flow. And that is a testament to not just our businesses or our ministries that we're starting, but also to just life in general, right? Things are going to knock the wind out of you. You're going to get a call one day about something you did not anticipate. You're going to see something happen that you are so confused on why and what was the purpose and why is this happening. We're all going to face this, and there's no reason to think it wouldn't happen in your business too. So your breakthrough will come when you release the need for control. I know that to be a fact, and let God be in control and partner with him. That's when he multiplies your efforts. That's when things go beyond the scope of you even imagining. That's when it's only can be because of him that this is happening. Some of the most successful stories you hear about entrepreneurs, it does not make sense. Their story does not make sense. But especially when they're believers, oh my word, that's God, right? That's not this person. It can't be. That's too out of sight. That's too unbelievable. And so it always points back to God. That's what I hope my business journey does, my ministry work. I hope it's never a testament to how faithful, what a great Christian I am. No, I want all my efforts to point to him. And that has been such a driving force and motivation for me. And I love hearing people's testimonies. I love hearing miracle stories. I love hearing people's journey through life with God, because you see that as a pattern. That's normal, because our life should be a reflection of him and producing a story of the gospel, because it only makes sense if it's him involved. And that has been so exciting for me to walk through. That's why I love this entrepreneurship journey. That's why I'm passionate about. That's why I want to help others on this way. And it might not be might not be a business. It might be a passion project. It might be meeting a specific need right now, and you just go and do it in your community or for your family. It might be a ministry, endless, right? God works in every single thing. It might be in your corporate job. So I just want to encourage people to step in faith when you have those dreams and those longings and those callings to do something. And if it's not matching with what you're doing right now, to take that desire and go with it. God gave you that desire for a reason. He wants to see you take action in that. Where could it go? We don't know. That's the beauty of it. That's the hard part and the beauty. And I just believe that all of us are called to some form of entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurial to just take any risk with the desire to make a success out of it, and for it to be something that builds upon itself and has roots and a reward for it, for the effort. All of us are born with an entrepreneurial spirit. If I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur too. And I can't wait to see what you make and create. So what have we learned? We've learned that clarity comes from commitment. When you commit your work to the Lord, he will give you the clarity that you need. Stay faithful in prayer and keep your eyes on him. Vision requires action. You can have all the dreams in the world, but they won't come to life unless you take action. What small step can you take today, right now? And community strengthens you. Don't do this alone. Whether it's a business group, a coach, a trusted friend, your pastor, whoever it might be, find people who will hold you accountable, will speak life into you, and who can pray over you too. And above all, know this, that God delights in seeing his children use the gifts he created in them. Your business isn't just a business. It's a way to glorify God and to bless others. Proverbs 11:25 says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Isn't that such good news? I know how many times I've been in cycles of burnout and how much God has given me those, people call them God winks, of getting a message from someone saying, thank you for that affirmations journal you made. I listened to your podcast. It really hit home today. Thank you so much, because I needed that. Just these little things that keep me going, keep me on the path. And I'll say I need that sometimes. And that's just, in a nutshell, the heart of a purpose-driven entrepreneur. A generous person will prosper. We're generous with what God blesses us with. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. When you pour into people, you get a return on that. And there's something to be said about emulating Jesus. Think about his life. What did he do? He doesn't have thousands of books, written word from his hand that he wrote. He doesn't have recordings of himself going out and hosting revivals. He only had the clothes on his back. He was dependent on the love of others to take care of him. He didn't do everything he could to go buy a house, buy land, stick to his little place. He traveled and he offered himself, his wisdom, and ultimately himself, his body, his life for others. All he did was pour into others. That's it. That is the legacy of his life. He did not acquire material things. He did not spend all his time focusing on how he could build himself up. And as a Christian entrepreneur, the ultimate act of our actions is servitude, serving others. I mean, that's it. And what impact can you make if you're an artist, if you're a wedding planner, if you're a chef? What you're offering to people matter. It makes this world a beautiful place to live in, and it reflects back to others who God is. If Jesus had not shared his news with the world, what would it be about? Today, I'm challenging you, take the first step in faith. Faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. Hebrews 11:1. The entrepreneurial spirit isn't about striving. It's about co-creating with God. He's already placed the seeds of creativity and purpose in you. Now it's time to water them with faith, prayer, and action. I want to hear from you. What's the first step you're taking in your entrepreneurial journey? Head over to Instagram or down below in the comment section. Share with me and cheer each other on. Let's be of support to one another and that place to be vulnerable and connect with others who are like-minded and who will pray over your dreams too. And if you need more help mapping out your plan, and maybe you're wanting to start a digital business and getting something out there that you've created that you know will impact others, grab my Kickstart bundle. It's packed with everything you need to get started, from building your business to creating your digital product to getting it out to market and how you can promote. It is literally a one-stop shop. You could take this Kickstart bundle and launch your business at the end of the weekend. So make sure to grab that, and let's see how you can scale this purpose-driven idea. This was designed specifically for Christians who are ready to step into their calling, take the action, and create a low barrier to entry opportunity, which is digital online products, and being able to get something out into the world with literally very tiny investment, except for your time and expertise and knowledge, to launch your thing. So you'll find the link to that in the show notes. I'm super excited to offer that to you guys. And don't miss my next episode. Make sure that you're subscribed and are notified when new episodes are launched, because we are really going to be focused on living with bold intention, taking action on our goals, and launching what God has called us to do. And you don't want to miss it. Until next time, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Go live with bold intention, everyone. Bye for now.